like to call this meeting to order and ask the clerk to conduct a roll call, please.
Thank you, Acting Chair and Sinner. Councillor Badaway.
Present.
Councillor Bateman.
Present.
Councillor Kiokio.
Present.
Councillor Crater.
Present.
Councillor Easton. I believe she's here. Councillor Foster.
Present.
Councillor Ganan. Councillor Grant.
Present.
Councillor Greenwood.
Present.
Councillor Height. Councillor Yip.
Present.
Councillor Jordan.
I'm here.
Councillor Junkin.
Here.
Councillor Kaiser.
Present.
Councillor Morocco.
Present.
Councillor Olson.
Present.
Councillor Redicott.
Here.
Councillor Rigby.
Present.
Councillor Seaborn.
Present.
Councillor Secord. Councillor Cisco.
Present.
Councillor Ugolini.
Present.
Councillor Villela. Councillor Whalen.
Present.
Councillor Witteveen.
Present. Thank you.
Councillor Zalepa.
I'm here, thank you.
And we have regrets tonight, Chair, from Councillors Campion, Diodati, Sorrento, and Steele.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'll call on Councillor Witteveen to read the land acknowledgement statement, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So Niagara region is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Adirondack and the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credits First Nation. There are many First Nation, Métis, and Inuit from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The regional municipality of Niagara stands with all Indigenous peoples, past and present, in promoting the wide stewardship of the lands on which we live.
Thank you, Councillor. If you are able, please stand for the national anthem. Are there any additions to the agenda? Councillor Bateman.
Thank you, Chair. I intend to bring a notice of motion. I will bring a notice of motion related to the GM property in St. Catharines, and that I'm asking council to consider tonight, given the fact that there likely may not be any public health meetings, and those earlier this summer were canceled. I also have a resident, John Pula, who is in attendance tonight, who could provide some context as to why this is important for to be on the agenda and for council to hear regarding public health.
So, Councillor Bateman, you're under notices of motion, you're going to bring something forward, I take it. Is that correct?
Well, I'll defer to you and the clerk. Chair, I'd like to bring the motion tonight, so I understand that council has to vote on it. It was submitted to the clerk, I think 9 days in advance, and you asked for 10 days. So with AMO and all the things that I understand, the council has to vote on this.
Yes. And you mentioned something about someone to present?
There is a delegate who I believe is there tonight. His name is John Pua, who I would like to have him add some context as a resident, not just me as a counselor.
So and you're aware that we're going to need 2/3 of council to have that presentation come forward?
Yes, Chair. There was some confusion, as in our bylaws, it still states that motions can be sent 5 days. As I said, I sent it 8, but I understand that now we have council to approve it, and I'm at the will of council as always.
And I understand that. So what I'm going to ask then, if you're requesting a delegation to talk about a motion that you're going to bring forward that we don't have information on yet, if I will go to council, and please correct me, Madam Clerk, but if we have 2/3 of council that will accept the delegation, then I'm prepared to put that after the fact. If your motion goes through, then a delegate can speak to that at that point.
Thank you, Chair. Members of council, majority of members of council have received my motion, and I've sent it to them either yesterday or days in advance.
So, yeah. So I need a mover and a seconder then to have the presentation.
Acting Chair, could I just get some clarification? Would it be 2 motions? One to, first of all, accept the motion tonight, and the other one would be to accept a delegation? Is that?
Right, what we're doing right now is for the delegation,
Okay, thank you.
okay? If 2/3 if there are 2/3, then the delegate will be able to speak if in fact the motion from Councillor Bateman goes through, if she receives 2/3. Okay, so,
On a point of order, and I think the clerk should clarify this, I think something needs to be on the agenda before we can have a presentation on anything, if it's not part of today's meeting. So first, that has to come forward as a motion to accept her motion, then the delegate, that has to be voted on after that. That's the way I would think it has to run. Can I get clarification from the clerk?
Through you, Chair. So there's 2 pieces. So if Councillor Bateman wants to bring forward her motion tonight, under notices of motion on the agenda, she would bring it forward, asking council to debate it tonight. That would require 2/3 to suspend the rules regarding notice. You are correct. If there is nothing on the agenda, a delegate can't come and speak. So he needs 2/3 as well. So where it gets complicated is the delegate has to be added under additions to the agenda, and then the notice of motion would be done later. So council could consider a motion to permit the delegate to appear, for example, only if Councillor Bateman's motion is considered tonight. Regardless, both votes will require 2/3 to pass.
and Councillor Height, that was the discussion I've had also today. So what I'm asking is we deal with the delegate first. If in fact there is a mover and seconder for the delegate. Councillor Bateman, I assume you are going to move it. And is there a seconder? Councillor Morocco.
Chair, could I please have a recorded vote as well? Sorry to do that.
We will do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
the way we normally do things, this will go to committee first, and the delegation should go to the committee first. So in the process that you're trying to put us through here, will there be a chance to do that? Or ask that, or can I ask of that right now?
Through you, Chair, once committee considers whether or not they want to consider the motion tonight, certainly they could refer it to committee. Once it's on the floor, if it passes by a 2/3. Like to
Then I
consider
can
it
ask-
tonight, yes, then you
Okay, thank
could
you.
refer it back to committee.
Chair, could I ask a procedural question? Sorry, this was never intended to get this complicated. In speaking with the clerk tonight, there is concern that we will not have another public health meeting, or we at least will not have one in September. So I just want to clarify if it's being referred, if that's the will of council, we will definitely have a meeting.
That, I don't believe we can actually say that. That's looking into the future, and I don't think we can do that, Madam Clerk.
Through you, Chair, as I spoke with Councillor Bateman today, if there are agenda items for that Public Health and Social Services Committee meeting, then the meeting will be held. It is scheduled as normally.
So if we're all clear, Madam Clerk? Go ahead.
Just on a point of order, Chair, sorry. Don't we need to consider a motion to set our rules aside first to consider this motion? So that shouldn't be the motion displayed on the board.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Oh, okay.
So what we're voting on right now is to put, she needs 2/3. We need 2/3 to set it aside. Okay. Go ahead.
She just confirmed if she wants to record it.
Yes.
The rule suspension or the actual delegate action.
Chair, could I just get you to clarify what that means, the setting aside? I just didn't quite hear.
It's just to suspend the rules. So it will be heard then,
Okay.
if there's 2/3.
Okay, to suspend the rules. Thank you.
So Councillor Bateman, that is a recorded vote to suspend the rules?
Sorry to interrupt again.
Thank-
Chair. If I could ask one more question, a clarification.
Go ahead.
So for example, if I support the motion but not the delegate, you're not really giving me an opportunity to decide which I would set the rules aside for or not. I guess that's my question.
Madam Clerk?
Through you, Chair, so the first vote will be whether or not to suspend the rules. If that fails, then there's no consideration of the delegation motion. Recorded vote, Councillor Badaway,
Yes.
Councillor Bateman,
Yes.
Councillor Kiokio,
Yes.
Councillor Crater,
Yes.
Councillor Easton, Councillor Foster,
No.
Councillor Gannan, Councillor Grant,
Yes.
Councillor Greenwood, no. Councillor Height, no. Councillor Yip,
Opposed?
Councillor Jordan,
Yes.
Councillor Junkin,
Yes.
Councillor Kaiser,
Yes.
Councillor Morocco,
Yes.
Councillor Olson, Councillor Redicott,
Yes.
Councillor Rigby, Councillor Seaborn,
Yes.
Councillor Secord, Councillor Cisco,
Yes.
Councillor Ugolini,
No.
Councillor Whalen,
No.
Councillor Witteveen,
Yes.
Councillor Zalepa,
No.
Through you, Chair, the vote is defeated, or sorry, the vote is defeated, 2/3 was not obtained. It was 15 yeses, 10 nos.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any changes to the order of the agenda? I am looking for a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda. Councillor Foster, Councillor Grant, thank you. And please vote electronically. That is carried. Thank you very much. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interests? Not seeing any. Thank you. Moving on to presentations. I'd like to call on Mackenzie Schultz, Oxford County, for a presentation of the 2026 Water and Energy Efficiency Award. Good evening.
Hi, can you guys hear me all right? Amazing, give me 1 second. Thank you guys so much for having me here this evening. Through the chair to council, I'm very excited to be here on behalf of Ontario Waterworks Association to present Niagara Region with the 2026 Water and Energy Efficiency Award. For those of you who aren't familiar with the association, OWWA is a voluntary, non-for-profit organization that represents more than 1,500 water professionals across the province. Our members reflect the full spectrum of water professionals from source to tap, responsible for delivering safe and reliable drinking water services to residents here in Ontario. Our association is committed to advancing water management through leadership, education, innovation, and continuous improvement. And it's in the spirit of sustainable water management that our Water and Energy Efficiency Committee every year presents 2 awards, one to a private sector and one to a public sector organization who have undertaken a project that demonstrates innovation, quantified water savings, and transferability to other organizations. This year, we're pleased to recognize staff at Niagara Region for the water fixture retrofit upgrades that were undertaken at Rapejo Lodge. The project demonstrates a strong organizational commitment to water conservation, and the results really speak for themselves. You guys have contributed to a 16% reduction in water use at the facility in the last year, and that's more than 2,500 cubic meters of water per year saved. It's not just the project that makes this deserving of award recognition. It's actually the staff that simply not just identified the opportunity, but took that next step to put it into action and then apply for these awards that allow us to come out and present them, and in not just the council setting, but also our awards magazine, so that other municipalities can learn from these experiences. It's that willingness to lead by example, demonstrate measurable results, and share what is learned that is exactly the type of leadership that you want to see in your municipalities. So congratulations again to all of the Niagara Region staff that helped contribute to this project. Moving forward, water conservation takes all of us and all of our departments. And at this time, I'd like to invite the chair and the CAO to join me in accepting the award. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Sneak around here. Or I'm gonna go this way. I'm sorry. You go this way. You go this way.
I'll go this way.
Go to the high road. You take the low road. Thank you for that, and everyone who was involved with that. Thank you very much, and to the reports that have gone in. Greatly appreciated. Moving on to the chair's
Chair?
report.
I just had a quick question because I'm curious to where, now we received this wonderful award, where will the award be displayed for the public to know? Will it be at the lodge or where will this be displayed?
After my house, it'll probably go, we'll find out after. No problem. CAO, you want to answer that one? I will find out and I will get that to you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, councillors, staff, members of the public. Sorry, first things first. Before I begin my report, I want to acknowledge the passing of Bob Saraceno, former mayor of Port Colborne and former member of Niagara Regional Council. Bob dedicated many years to serving his community and our region. On behalf of Regional Council, I extend our sincere condolences to his family, friends, and the Port Colborne community. I now ask everyone to please rise and join me in a moment of silence as we remember Bob and thank him for his service. Thank you. This August was a busy month, highlighted by the AMO conference in Ottawa, and Niagara showed up in a big way. Our delegation met with multiple provincial cabinet ministers, putting Niagara's priorities directly in front of the decision makers who can help us move them forward. I was proud to represent Niagara at the joint meeting of Marco and Ontario big city mayors, ensuring Niagara has a strong voice at the table with municipal leaders from across the province. I had the opportunity to connect directly with several cabinet ministers and have a particular meaningful one-on-one conversation with Minister of Health Sylvia Jones. Access to healthcare close to home is important to everyone across Niagara, and as 40 years regional councillor, I can understand that in the first hand. I appreciate the opportunity to bring that perspective directly to the minister during our positive meeting. We also delivered a very clear message on the South Niagara wastewater treatment plant. Niagara is growing. We're ready to build, and we need the approvals to get this transformational project moving. That's what AMO was all about to me, getting Niagara's priorities directly in front of the people who can help us move them forward. And we are ready. A big reason for that was Rachel Ball-Condren, who did an incredible job coordinating our delegations and preparing excellent briefing materials that ensured we walked into every meeting ready to make Niagara's case. Is Rachel here this evening? No. Okay. I just want to say, Rachel, thank you very much on behalf of council. It was a heck of a job, and thank you. I also want to thank every regional councillor and member of regional staff who attended AMO. You did an outstanding job representing Niagara, standing up for our priorities, and making sure our region's voice was heard. We went to Ottawa as Team Niagara, and I think we can all be proud of how Niagara was represented. There was one thing I wanted to share. I received a letter from, this is off script, sorry. I received a letter from Minister Todd McCarthy, just complimenting everyone here on the presentations that we did and how we interacted with the ministers. And so everybody here should be congratulated on that. Finally, I want to speak directly to Niagara's business community. Tariffs, tariffs and trade uncertainty are creating a real pressure, particularly for small and medium-sized businesses that employ thousands of people across Niagara. We want those businesses to know Niagara Region has your back. Our economic development team is here to help businesses navigate tariffs, identify available supports, and explore new opportunities and markets. We've also put those resources together in one place. If you're a business owner looking for help, please visit niagaracanada.com. Alternatively, you can reach out to our economic development team, and they are here to help. Niagara was built by people who manufacture things, grow things, sell things, and aren't afraid to do a little hard work. We're going to stand with them, advocate for them, and make sure Niagara keeps moving forward. A special thanks to the staff and in the chair's office, CAO, deputy CAO, in the clerk's office, and all the staff that I interacted with. They kept me on the straight and narrow, and I appreciate that. That's a heck of a job. And it's very much appreciated. So thank you. Moving on to number 8, adoption of the minutes. Councillor Greenwood, would you move the motion to adopt the the open and closed session minutes from the special and regular council meetings held July 30th and August 20th? Yes, I will. And Councillor Ganan, will you second those motion, please? Thank you. Any discussion? Please vote electronically. That has passed. Thank you. Correspondence, I will ask Councillor Foster, will you move the motion? And Councillor Yip, will you second the motion, please? Thank you. Any discussion? Not seeing any. Please vote electronically. Thank you. That's carried. Items for consideration. Councillor Easton, will you move the motion? And Councillor Olson, will you second that for me, please? Thank you. Any discussion? Not seeing any. Thank you. Please vote electronically. That has carried. Thank you. Moving on to committee reports. Councillor Seaborn, will you move the motion, please? Thank you. Councillor Kaiser, will you second that? Thank you. Any discussion? Please vote electronically. Thank you. That is carried. I will call on CAO Ron Tripp for a presentation on council strategic priorities, end of the term report.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Council. There's going to be a lot of content here, and contrary to my senior colleagues on senior staff, I'm going to be reading from my notes. They prefer that I don't, but I want to keep on track, try to get as close to 10 minutes as I can. But it's a lot of content. It's very positive, important content, and it's your content. It's a recap of this term. So I'm pleased to present the end-of-term report for the 2023-2026 Growing Better Together Council Strategic Priorities. Tonight is both a reflection and a celebration of the progress made through this term of council. It is an opportunity to recognize the collective efforts of council and staff, the partnerships that have strengthened our work, and the tangible outcomes achieved for Niagara. From strengthening service delivery and investing in critical infrastructure to advancing affordability, sustainability, and economic growth, the region has made meaningful progress in all 4 priority areas. Tonight, I will highlight those achievements, demonstrate how Council's priorities have been translated into action, and outline the work that will continue to shape Niagara's future for the years ahead. Council's vision of growing better together reflected the shared importance of working collaboratively across the region to build a stronger, more resilient Niagara. The mission built on that vision by focusing on how Niagara delivered on Council's priorities through service excellence, responsible decision-making, and a commitment to meeting community needs. Together, the vision and mission provided the foundation for the actions and outcomes highlighted in this end-of-term report. The guiding principles shaped how the region advanced through Council's strategic priorities and delivered services throughout the term. Partnerships were central to this work, with the region collaborating with local municipalities, other levels of government, Indigenous communities, and community partners to advance the shared priorities. Transparency and accountability also guided implementation by supporting clear communication, progress reporting, and informed decision-making. The strategic lenses provided a framework for considering decisions through diversity, equity and inclusion, Indigenous reconciliation, fiscal responsibility, innovation and sustainability, and climate change. Together, these principles and lenses helped ensure decisions reflected community needs, long-term impacts, and responsible use of resources. So the 4 priorities. Over the past 4 years, Council has provided clear vision and direction for the Niagara region through the 4 priority areas: an effective region, a green and resilient region, an equitable region, and a prosperous region. These priorities have guided our decisions, informed our investments, and helped focus our efforts on the issues that matter most to Niagara residents. Delivering on those priorities, many of the Council priority actions are multi-year in scope, reflecting the complexity and the scale of the work required to advance Council's priorities. In some cases, the approved action focused on developing a plan or a framework. Several of those actions have since moved beyond planning into implementation, demonstrating continued momentum beyond the original milestone. Overall, progress was advanced across each priority area, despite shifting community needs and external pressures and challenges affecting the region. Communicating priorities. Communicating progress on the priorities was essential to keeping Council and the community informed about achievements, implementation status, and ongoing work. Quarterly updates to Council provided regular oversight and helped track progress on actions. There's a public dashboard where project status, milestones, and progress updates are accessible to the community, and our next update to that dashboard will be September 3rd. Social media updates, quarterly posts help to share progress more broadly and highlight key achievements with the community. And accomplishment videos that provided a concise, accessible way to showcase the outcomes achieved over the term. Staff worked across the organization to translate Council's strategic priorities into clear actions, with teams at every division helping to move the work forward. Over the term, each Council priority action progressed, reflecting sustained effort and commitment across the organization. Effective Region is focused on the organization, transforming our service delivery, ensuring our facilities, facilitating shared service delivery, putting in place strong financial management, and investing in the people at the region. The actions reflected how the region reviewed our services and their delivery, implemented strong recruitment and retention strategies, as well as supported the implementation of shared services. Each regional department, division, and team contribute to being an effective region. We have aimed to position Niagara as an employer of choice and as a service provider focusing on innovation and collaboration. Staff have taken a critical eye to our practices with the goal of improvement, whether it is through technology, data, emergency preparedness, etc. Tonight, there'll be a fulsome presentation on the work done towards business continuity planning. Ms. Beth Miller is going to be presenting to you later this evening. The updated procurement bylaw, which is completed. This was a cross-departmental collaboration that established a modernized governance framework supporting fair, transparent, and accountable purchasing across the organization. The food service platform completed. A new food service software platform was successfully launched at our regional long-term care homes. The platform modernizes menu management, improves production planning, increases operational efficiency, and reduces food waste across the homes. It sits alongside the other long-term care improvements this term, including staff engagement platform implemented at all homes to strengthen real-time communication, recognition, and cross-site collaboration. Performance measures were developed and refined over the term to help demonstrate progress and outcomes. The 6 highlighted on this slide provide a snapshot of impact achieved. Our AA plus credit rating on October 20th of 2025, S&P Global Ratings reaffirmed Niagara's AA plus rating, the 4th consecutive year the region has earned it. The rating reflects S&P's view of the Niagara exceptional liquidity, strong budgetary performance, and financial management. A strong rating sends a positive signal to investors and directly lowers their costs of borrowing, which helps support critical infrastructure projects and development goals. 83% of offers accepted by the preferred candidate, and that was at the time of preparing this, but it's actually updated to 89%. This is a people plan recruitment measure indicating that we are successfully landing our first choice candidates. The people plan sets a target of 90% by 2027 against a benchmark of 85. So this shows solid performance with continued room to grow. Together, these measures show an organization that is fiscally well managed, recognized by its peers, working effectively with municipal partners, and continuing to attract and retain people needed to deliver the services. The Green and Resilient Region, priority areas focused on ensuring environmentally sustainable practices in our operations, reducing our carbon footprint, and acting on climate mitigation and adaptation. The actions demonstrated taking a leadership role in our community on climate change, partnering with our local area municipalities, as well as community organizations. Several actions in this priority moved forward from development into implementation phase. The Waste Management Strategic Plan, completed through 2023-2025. The plan sets a 25-year direction for Niagara's waste system, focused on improving diversion, system efficiency, environmental performance, and long-term sustainability. Actions roll out in phases, early steps from 2026 to 2035, and longer actions through 2050. The South Niagara Wastewater Treatment Solution, on track in the design phase currently. Detailed design work was awarded in 2024 following a council approval, and design activities began on the new treatment plant associated outfall infrastructure. Work is advanced through equipment selection and preliminary design with a request for proposal targeted for early 2027. Funding has been a challenge, and staff have pursued provincial and federal funding support, including the submission to the province's Development Charge Reduction Program in spring of 2026. Again, performance measures were developed and helped us to provide a snapshot of the impact achieved. We received several investments on our green practices over the last 4 years. 9,155 trees planted between 2023 and 2026. This includes trees that we planted this year, as the region was successful in securing approximately $90,000 from the province in partnership with the MPCA for tree planting on regional properties. $100,000 was saved per year from energy and emissions related to projects. Projects delivered include lighting retrofits, building envelope upgrades, HVAC improvements, and building automation systems. These measures show the region moving from planning into measurable actions with baselines established, targets set, external funding leveraged, and savings already being realized. The equitable region priority focused on strengthening community belonging and supporting the safety and well-being of Niagara residents. The actions in this priority moved from planning into implementation, with several major plans completed and now guiding day-to-day work across housing, road safety, health equity, and reconciliation. The Consolidated Housing Master Plan, completed between 23 and 26. The plan set a clear framework in 2025 to move affordable housing projects from planning into construction, and implementation plan was endorsed by Council. Staff continue to monitor and update it while pushing ahead with site-specific short-term projects. Priority housing sites have advanced in St. Catharines, Port Colborne, and Welland, including 320 Geneva Street, Haney Street, 709, 725 King Street, and 184 Dennistown Street. Sustaining advocacy accompanied the work through Niagara Week, AMO, FCM, site tours, and submissions to Build Canada homes. The Health Equity Action Plan, which was completed between 2020 and 2025, all recommendations from the Health Equity Strategic Plan were implemented, embedding health equity into public health planning and decision-making. Department-wide staff engagement has now shaped recommendations for new Health Equity Action Plan covering the next 5 years. For these performance measures, each of these numbers represents residents reached, children, family, teens, adults, seniors, and together they show the priorities translating into direct community impact. 33.9% increase in childcare spaces since 2023, delivered through the Canada-wide Early Learning and Childcare Expansion Program. Niagara was confirmed to deliver a total of 3,630 new licensed spaces between 23 and 26, and those spaces were successfully allocated and opening by the end of 26. 290 individuals supported through situation tables between 2023 into 2026. Situation table is a regular meeting where a group of professionals from different fields work together to mitigate risk before an incident of harm or victimization takes place. The Niagara Situation Tables ran weekly across all 12 area local municipalities, with more than 50 community agencies participating. And finally, the Prosperous Region priority, which focused on promoting, facilitating, and supporting employment growth and development to strengthen Niagara's long-term economic success. Actions under this priority supported economic diversification in emerging sectors, workforce development through partnerships with community employers, improved movement of people, goods, and services, and advocacy for the region's needs. The expansion of GO Transit, which is on track, it's on work in progress real time. Council gave unanimous support to intensify advocacy for increased GO service, backed by a comprehensive business case and a formal advocacy strategy for two-way, all-day GO train service to Niagara. The Agricultural Action Plan was completed between 24 and 28 into 28. The plan was developed and engaged with engagement from agricultural, municipal, and Indigenous partners and post-secondary institutions. Implementation is launched in partnership with the Niagara Federation of Agriculture, which supports delivery, sector coordination, and communications. Staff are working with Niagara College on regional education programs supporting future of farming. Priorities for 2026 include agriculture information, ag tech, innovation, foreign direct investment, irrigation and infrastructure opportunities, funding, permitting, and sector promotion. And the Transportation Master Plan, which is on track, beginning in 24 and go into 2027. The plan will guide long-term mobility, growth, and infrastructure planning. Staff have launched the development of the plan, including a cross-departmental working group and comprehensive engagement strategy. You can see that we've achieved several investments in Niagara over the term of council, whether it is financial through grant funding or an investment in the well-being and economic prosperity for residents through new physicians and new businesses. $69.4 million in grant funding between 24 and 25. This is a combined total across 2 years, marking significant investment in the Niagara Region initiatives. Over this term of council, as part of government relations strategy, a central external granting resource was created to identify opportunities and strategically apply. new physicians since 2023. Delivered through the physician recruitment strategy, a coordinated approach developed with Niagara Health, local area municipalities, and local physicians to address physician shortages and improve access to primary care. Momentum built over the term. 26 family physicians had been welcomed by the end of 2024, and the total has since reached 49. Supporting activity, including physician recruitment roundtable, bringing together municipal leaders, economic development representatives, the healthcare sector partners, plus a dedicated recruitment campaign. And then $1.6 billion investment in an EV battery separator plant in Port Colborne. Asahi Kasei's investment is the single largest economic development result of the term. The project received the 2024 Deal of the Year Impact Award in recognition of its lasting impact on Niagara. Together, these measures show Niagara attracting major investment, growing its business base, and strengthening the services and connections residents rely on, a strong economic foundation heading into the next term. In closing, I want to thank Regional Council for their hard work and dedication in advancing the Council's strategic priorities throughout this term. As I said, this presentation has a lot of content, very positive content, as does the year-end report. This is your work, so congratulations. Together, this work helped move the organization forward, strengthen service delivery, and support meaningful outcomes for Niagara communities. While this report marks the end of the current council term, many initiatives will continue to advance through the ongoing collaborations with local municipalities, other levels of government, community partners, and residents. The progress achieved provides a strong foundation for the next term of council and for continued work to respond to the priorities and the needs of the community. So thank you very much, Chair. If you allow, I'll go back to my seat and take any questions Council may have.
Thank you, Mr. CAO. What I would like to do is put the report CAO 14-2026 on the floor, and then if there's any questions with regards to the CAO or anything else. So I'm going to ask that Councillor Badaway move the report, and that Councillor Whalen second that for me, please. Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Councillor Redicott.
Thank you, Chair. On slide 19, you make reference to 1.2 million plus transit riders. So I get the bus. Which portion of the rail would that be? Is that?
Good.
Through you, Chair, I'd prefer that question to Bianca Faciulli, staff member.
Thank you for the question. Through the chair, we'll have to get back to you because we'll look into the specifics of the details of that.
Okay, and will we get that by way of an email, or when will we get that?
Through you, Chair, we'll circulate it through Friday correspondence to all of Council.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question, if I might, Chair. The 261 net new businesses, which are referred to immediately below on the same slide, is that based on data from across the Niagara region?
So through the chair, that's based on the Niagara employment inventory. So this is a sense of employment employers across Niagara region.
Okay, thank you very much.
Councillor Bateman.
Thank you, Chair. I can't upload this, so I'm sorry. You had mentioned, through you, Chair, to the CAO about the staff morale. I think it was you used. Can you explain that, like what is being done to ensure that staff are using their benefits, they get good benefits, their pay is good, their work is, can you expand on that point?
CAO.
Thank you, through Chair. I referenced more broadly the people plan in the presentation itself, which has several elements to it. I highlighted just as sort of a objective measure our success rate in recruitment of first choice hires. And as evidence that we are an employer of choice. People plan includes many other items. Council may recall, should recall, we brought forward a compensation strategy, largely in closed session, but council deliberated on that through several meetings, and that was just one element. Certainly benefits and compensation are a key piece, but really it's the culture, the commitment to community, and the one team approach that we that is embedded across the organization that has attracted retained many staff and attracted new staff.
Thank you, Chair. Just to follow up, so you're speaking about the leadership team more specifically, not just staff, because that is what you're referencing, right? That we had discussed in closed session.
Through you, Chair, if I understood the question, the one example I referenced was the compensation strategy, which had several elements that were deliberated by council in closed session, but ultimately approved by council.
Okay, so I think we are referring to the same thing. And just to continue on this point, because it is a hot topic in our community, as we've discussed before, but staff morale for emergency workers, we've been told is lower. And I'm just wondering, are we doing anything, what supports are we putting in place moving forward to ensure that we are improving that?
I believe.
Sorry, that was through you, Chair.
I believe the chief is online.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Thank you. Through you, Chair. It's kind of a hot topic, staff morale for emergency service workers. And they've expressed that there's very low morale. And I'm just wondering what we've been doing and what we are doing to improve that. Thank you, Chair.
To improve staff morale. Well, we continue to recognize our staff every day through letters of recognition, pins. We have a really robust mental health program that we're doing to make sure our staff recover well after a bad call. And if necessary, they're allowed to take an additional 2 mental health days that don't go against their sick bank. We have fitness facilities that are free for everybody to use. We communicate to our staff regularly. Our soups do a really, really good job of supporting our staff when they need it. And I think we're doing a really good job when it comes to engagement, when it comes to wellness. If you can maybe have something more specific, I can answer that.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. No, that's good, Chair. I have no other questions. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you. Councillor Olson.
Thank you, Chair. I want to recognize this as an excellent report and appreciate and acknowledge the staff, which I think is a superior staff that we have. I see examples of it all the time, and I see it in the development of the plan for the maintenance of our wastewater system that was basically rotting as we watched it. And now we have a strategic plan that's purposeful, it's strategic, and that will keep that system operating until we get the money from the region or from the government to fix it. But I think we've become much more purposeful, and you see it in our staff and the depth of planning that goes on. And it's going to take a depth of planning to keep everything running and to keep this affordable. So I just want to say how I'm quite pleased with the report, and I just want to express my appreciation and affection for our staff because they've done a terrific job here. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Olson. Councillor Foster.
Yeah, thank you, Chair and Senna, through you. I really want to thank the CAO and staff for putting this report together for us and showing things. You know, we we do a lot of things at this regional council. We've done a lot of things with this regional council, and sometimes I don't think we actually fully understand the full breadth of what it is that we have done over the last number of years. I know the regional councillor positions are going away, but I can see fingerprints of all of us all over these things that have come through. These 8 years have been absolutely terrific to go and actually move the region forward on so many differing areas. So I just want to thank you, Ron, for putting this together with your staff and just giving us, a real positive kick, if you want to put it that way, as we enter into the silly election season that we're about to go through. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other comments? I'm not seeing any. With CAO 14-2026 on the floor, please vote electronically. That has passed. Thank you very much. Moving on to 12.2 CAO 15-2026. I will call on Beth Miller, Corporate Business Continuity and Resilience Consultant, for the Business Continuity Planning Update. Good evening.
Good evening, members of council. I'm so glad to be with you today. I'm Beth Miller. I'm our Corporate Business Continuity and Resilience Consultant in the DCAO's office. And tonight I'm going to be giving you just a brief update on business continuity planning that was completed this year across the entire corporation. So as you all know, every organization, including this one, faces risks that can interrupt critical services that residents depend on, from our drinking water to safe roads and our long-term care homes. Cyber attacks, labor disruptions, pandemics, and as we well know, severe weather all carry significant risks to our operations. This continuity work began because leadership recognized the need to be better prepared for a cybersecurity incident. A disruption like that can quickly become more than a technology issue. It can affect the region's ability to deliver essential services. Continuity planning predetermines how critical a service is, how long it can be paused for, what it needs to run, and who depends on it. This continuity planning means that decisions can be made faster with less guesswork, which matters in the first hours of an incident. This is about ensuring that the region can keep delivering services people count on most, even when conditions are very difficult. There we go. So when gathering this information corporately, it was important not only just to collect all of the information, but design a solution that was both usable and succinct for our leaders. Historically, continuity planning has been done off the sides of desk, with some areas having plans, but really no corporate structure in place to guide it. It's common for municipalities to tackle continuity efforts over time, team by team, but then rarely do they have a complete picture of all their operations, and it might not even be current when they need it the most. So this enterprise approach demanded a way to bring the data and reporting together from the onset. So I worked very closely with our really incredible IT team to design an in-house solution from data intake to an interactive report, and then finally continuity plans for each of our 27 divisions. So there's two main components to this work: our business impact analysis, which collects all the corporate information, and then business continuity plans, which is really the end result. The business impact analysis was completed early this year by all teams across all 27 divisions, and then we generated specific business continuity plans for each division. So one format, one structure of information for our entire corporation. The business impact analysis is really the foundation of continuity work. It gives us an inventory from the same approach with a corporate-wide view of 894 services that were submitted by our leadership. This data gathering was a really big lift for all of our teams across the region because they had to articulate every single service that they did, determine what resources and level of impact that would occur if it had to stop because of an emergency, not business as usual. So I'm going to show you our business impact analysis Power BI report. So this is the first page of our report, and you can see that there's 3 filters at the top there. And really what's happening on this page is it's a high-level summary of whatever we've selected in that red box, that first filter. So here, Transportation Services Division has been selected. There's 5 teams within that division. So those 5 have been selected, but we could select the entire corporation if we wanted, or just one team. So the idea here is, depending on who the user is, a commissioner or just a manager, we can adjust what information is getting pulled. You can see the 4 summary columns here of information: corporate criticality, maximum acceptable downtime, which is MAD, frequency, and ranking. Corporate criticality was a calculation from scores that leaders entered using a matrix with definitions. The maximum acceptable downtime is the longest that a service can be unavailable during an incident without causing significant impact. This helps us protect critical services by knowing where work can pause so that resources can be redirected where needed. The frequency shows how often a service occurs, which helps put the criticality and downtime into context depending on the incident. The ranking column is actually changing depending on what teams you've selected here. So if a commissioner wants to see how things rank across their department, it's going to rank across the things they've selected as opposed to maybe just a team view. So that ranking will change depending on your selection. But the bottom line here is that we can quickly see which services are critical. This is the second dropdown, our scoring filter. So this is our corporate criticality levels. So in this view, I've selected critical and high. So the report now is only showing services under transportation with those 2 scores. You can tell that higher scores have a MAD time that is shorter, so typically 0 to 8 hours or 9 to 24 hours. And this is providing us a really useful check that our criticality and our downtime are well aligned. The third dropdown is our employment group, and this is filtering by employee groups that support each of the services that you see. So in this example, because transportation is selected, only the 3 employment groups that are related to transportation are showing. If the entire corporation was selected, all of our employment groups would be filter options. Together, these 3 dropdowns allow leaders to use corporate information in different ways. So depending on the incident, or the team affected, or even the employee group, we can modify what we're seeing. So for example, during a labor disruption, we could filter by an employment group and then also scoring to see which services are going to be affected where coverage is needed the most. Each service in this report can be clicked on and drilled down into more details. So under the last team there, traffic operations, we're going to have a quick look at the dispatch service. We're now on the second page of the report, which is providing a detailed view of dispatch. The summary band at the top shows key process information that I've talked about, and below that you can see how they've actually scored that criticality, 0 to 5, 5 being the highest. So there's definitions for each one of those scores that they had to adhere to when selecting a score. The green buttons that you see are all clickable and allow users to drill further into those resources that require those resources to operate and dependency information, which we're going to look at here. So at the very top, there's a little green eye in the right-hand corner, and next to it looks like a little org chart. So if we click on that, this is our final third page of dependencies. So there's 2 main views for dependencies. My dependencies, which is transportation's dependencies. They have 38 processes, which you can see on the left bottom there. And then you can toggle between that and depends on me. So depends on me is where a different division has selected transportation as something that they depend on. The idea here is that this gives staff a clear line of sight of external entities and internal partners that they might need to communicate with or coordinate with during a disruption. The information becomes more specific as you move to the right across the dependency tree. In this example, there's 4 services that scored high that depend on the local area municipalities. Together, these views support better communication, awareness, and coordination across divisions and external entities. The next step was creating business continuity plans, one plan for each of our 27 divisions. It's really using all the same information that was submitted during the business impact analysis. This week, we've been completing our business continuity plans with our key contact information that we should have on hand during an incident. So we are really almost officially done. Completing this work across the corporation at one time is a significant accomplishment. We are no longer relying on outdated spreadsheets. We have shifted from patchwork planning to truly being a leader in continuity. There's already been interest from single-tier municipalities and the university in replicating this tool, and we are working on how to best share what has been developed. So we've reached an important milestone where this continuity work has shifted from implementation to sustainment. This work is really not a one-time project. It must be maintained because teams, services, contacts, technology, and even our risks continue to change. So to keep plans useful, they need to be reviewed and revalidated annually. Staff also need training, and the supporting technology requires upkeep. In an incident, this work helps answer the most important question: which critical services must be protected first? With ongoing ownership, the region can keep plans current and make faster decisions that prioritize the services residents depend on the most. Bless you. Thank you. I'll now take any questions.
Thank you for the presentation. Do you want to stand up there for a few more minutes and take
Sure,
questions?
For sure.
Anyone have any questions? Councillor Easton.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Thank you, Beth, for your report. It appears that this is designed so that it's not necessary to hire a consultant. And is that at any point in the process or just in the data collection period?
So through the chair, there was no external consultant needed for this project. It was done completely internally.
And so what kind of technology did you require to store the data and to manipulate the data?
So I mentioned our IT team just being absolutely incredible. So I came to them with my spreadsheet, which nobody wants to fill out, and I understand. And they had a much better solution, which was creating a web app. So they created a web app that is a lot more dynamic, allows us to store the data more securely and pull it and filter it in a better way. It also allows us to ensure people are entering it the same way, so we have cleaner data. It also means we can make people fill it out. So, you know, the little asterisks where you can't move forward unless you fill it out, that's very helpful. Spreadsheet can't do that either. So first was the creation of the web app, which took 2 months for IT to create with me. So then we filled it out, and then we used Power BI. And those were the 2 tools that we used.
Okay, my third question, Mr. Chairman, is you were speaking about a reliance. That people would identify a reliance on some other department. So if I get a high number on the activity, the base activity, and I don't have any reliance numbers, and Councillor Height comes along and he has his base number, but he has a high number of reliance activities, are the chances greater for him than for me that his department will survive, whereas mine may not?
Through the chair, I will say that I think it's given us a really good understanding. One of our commissioners has often told me she wishes she didn't have so many critical services to look after because it's very stressful. But also we do a lot of support. So our corporate services team, they get tagged an awful lot. Poor IT, they got tagged 9 pages of tags. We're going to work on that. But yeah, so I don't think people saw it as winners and losers of what's going to continue, but and they could see each other's data, which was a huge change for us of actually being able to see, oh, wow, this is what EMS has on, this is what Public Works has on, this is, and so just having that vantage point of corporate information was new for us, and it helped us be a lot more collaborative in this process. But the other helpful thing is having that corporate criticality score. You could also gives you the ability to say, we're going to have to pause this. I'm not going to be able to help you because I have other things that scored this way. So it just allows for some more well-articulated conversations around what's going to stop and what's going to continue.
So am I correct when I say that it could result in more continuing education in those departments where they are having a very high reliance, but if the circumstances were changed through education, that might be adjusted as well?
Through the chair, I think we can always clean up our understanding and put more parameters around this. This was a first go at this, so I expect next year when we refresh, we'll see a difference in how we tagged our dependencies on each other. We're having really good conversations with leadership around that, actually. So it's really collaborative.
Councillor Easton, I believe Deputy CAO would just like to add something to that.
So just wanted to add to Beth's comment. One of the things that we have learned through this process is, in addition to the many critical things that the region does do in terms of services, is that there are some items we can pause for a certain period of time. I think we learned that during the pandemic. We had to press pause. So we have a better understanding on what we can press pause on and how long we can press pause. But that also allows us to redeploy resources to some of those critical things depending on the emergency or the criticality or the incident or whatever it happens to be. So it really gives us a lot of insight into how we can redeploy as well. And it's been very helpful.
Yeah, this is very impressive. My mind is really going crazy because I can think of all kinds of ways that you can increase your own survivability by really being engaged in the process, and you're working as one big team. It's great, thank you.
See you.
Thank you, Chair, through you. And the councillor once said, we shouldn't say that's a very good question. They're all good questions. But your question, your first one and your last comment really touches on the critical piece for me anyway. This was not something, this is something that we had to do ourselves, take ownership of our own area of responsibility and the objectivity of the analysis that went into it. And I knew this would happen. That's why I was so strongly in support of it. The cross collaboration and education across the organization to understand the criticalities and the intersections of services. And it's only going to get better. Like Beth was the quarterback for this, but everybody was involved in it, everybody owns it, and everybody will sustain it.
That's great, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Olson.
Thank you, Chair. For the presentation. This is a great evening for me because, I see a lot of things to appreciate here. Number one is we didn't have to hire a consultant and pay $1 million for that. I've spoken frequently about that. So, yeah. So Beth, if you're not aware of that, I really appreciate that.
Good.
And, but I think this is fantastic. It demonstrates collaboration and it demonstrates once again that leadership can come from any point in the room. And doesn't necessarily have to be our commissioners. They gave us great leadership, but we get a lot of support from staff, and once again it proves what a superior staff we have. I'm looking at this and I see the development of coordination between things. I'm looking for command and control and communications with it. Those are the things, and I imagine your presentation was truncated a little bit because you didn't want to put all that in there, but command and control coming from the corporate office and the communications and coordination, all those things have to come from there. So this is a great start. Very happy with this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, nothing but nice things to say about this, other than our CAO should have included in his presentation of something positive that has come out in the last 4 years, because this is incredible. Are we planning to roll this out to the local municipalities to be able to use as well? I'm hoping we are.
So through the chair, Town of Lincoln has been asking about this, so we're working with them on some shared service to, with their CEMC to get that to them. Brock has been asking to collaborate on this as well, so I imagine it'll just kind of keep on going.
That's marvelous. The ranking, that's really interesting because everyone has their own view. It
Yeah.
must have been arm wrestling going on. What comes first, what comes second, what comes fifth? What kind of discussions were there?
Through the chair, yes, they were asked not to cook the books.
Okay.
In the nicest way possible. But there was this matrix so that each score, 0 to 5, 0 being no impact, 5 being the greatest impact, had a specific definition for those 6 categories. So that was based on if this stopped for 72 hours, what would be the impact? So they were thinking that was tricky to get staff to keep that 72 hours in mind. That's best practice. Most emergencies are around that length of time. So it's just the standard that we use, but it was good. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Councillor Height,
I have one.
just one second, please.
Yep.
The doctor would just like to add to what was already said.
Through you, Chair, I just want to add, we then went through calibration as well. So in my department, for example, we had different areas of the department and different teams doing similar type of work. So for some infectious disease, it's on our environmental health team, and for some of them, it's on our infectious disease team. And then we went to see what was the similarity between them and their underlying scores. And in some cases, we found similarity, and in some cases, we found discrepancy. And so we were then able to go back and say, hey, why is there discrepancy there, and actually drill down to the details and talk to the staff and figure out. And so now there's consistency there, and there's a similar approach taken as well. And this tool really did enable us to do that in ways we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. So if I can editorialize a bit, it's a very impressive tool, and I'm very thankful to the team for putting it together and engaging staff at such a high level in making sure we all go through it.
A follow-up question would be, you spoke to reviewing it yearly. I'm somewhat surprised with that. I would think this would be, I don't want to say daily, but I would hope that key individuals that are important in this exercise, as an example, traffic operations, would have an individual who should be contacted. And then therefore, that should be updated daily, weekly, monthly by HR, because there's always staff moving around to make this more valuable. And I'm not seeing names here, so I'm surprised that we aren't also seeing names as part of this.
Through the chair, this is linked to our Active Directory. So we put in controls for the correct level of leadership to have access to all the different layers of intake, to the report, to their business continuity plans, to make those adjustments. And there is direction that if you have a reorg or a significant change, that you update this. Yeah.
And if there's a traffic signal problem, it should automatically go to an individual and then know what 2 or 3 people should be involved, I'm assuming.
Through the chair. So it isn't incident reporting. It's more categorizing all the services that we do. So it's a little higher level than a particular incident that's unfolding, but the EOC or leadership can use it to understand criticality.
Okay, I'm impressed. This is great, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Councillor Greenwood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Acting Chair, and through you to Beth. Thank you, Beth, and congratulations on this. Are we setting a precedent?
Through the chair, yes.
That's wonderful. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It just shows the intelligence that we have around this table, around with our staff, and I'm impressed because now staff can really show us and make more of a contribution to us with regard to filling in all that stuff and avoiding what we didn't need. And we had it right here. So I really do appreciate staff and the contributions that you're going to be able to make this a better place to operate. So that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Beth.
Anyone else? Do we have a copyright on this? Okay.
Thank you.
For mover and seconder then, for CAO 15-2026, I'll ask Councillor Kyokyo to move it, and I will ask Councillor Greenwood to second it for me, please. Thank you. no other questions, I'll ask you to vote electronically, please. That has passed, thank you. There are no motions for tonight. Notices of motions. Are there any notices of motions?
Okay.
None? Okay, we moved on. Closed session we've done already? Yep. So we're going to move on to bylaws. I will ask Councillor Redekop if you will move the bylaws, please, and thank you. And Councillor Grant, if you would second them. Thank you. Any discussion? I'm not seeing any, so if you please vote electronically. That has passed, thank you. Are there any items of other business? Councillor Redekop.
Thank you, Chair. So we're waiting to receive a word with respect to the development charge reduction plan. Do we have an indication of when we're going to be receiving some information on that?
See you.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, I reached out to the Assistant Deputy Minister today to get some indication as to when we reconvene. I haven't heard back yet, but when I do hear back, I can drop a note to council just saying that discussion is ongoing. But so I don't know at the moment.
So when there's eventually an agreement reached, how will council be notified?
Through you, Chair, I guess it's somewhat, well, through correspondence. I just don't know if I can be as timely as possible. It could be the Friday of correspondence. We have one more committee and council cycle. It could be associated with that as quickly as I can
Okay.
connect that to council, but through correspondence.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Foster.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just, I know the mayors of St. Catharines and Niagara on the Lake and Lincoln, I'm sure have already said this, but I just want to thank the region for all the help in the post apocalypse that we went through in some of our communities with the water and those types of things. And I just want to call out the transportation group in particular. There's a number of issues that we dealt with, particularly along our regional roads, and Frank and the team were able to get out and take a good look, understand what's going on, provide solutions, and sort of some longer term planning on what we're going to do to resolve some of this stuff. So anyway, I just, it's so nice to have staff that are able to come and work with us and make sure these things get resolved. So I just want to shout out to staff with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Greenwood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and through you. I'd like to say that the Rotary Club of Niagara Falls is having their 35th annual Lobster Fest, all-you-can-eat Lobster Fest. Seats are going quickly. It's still $125 for all you can eat, along with the roast beef and everything else. It's fabulous. And music to dance to till midnight, and a huge silent auction that we've been working tirelessly on. And last year we made $38,000. We're looking to make more this year. And all monies, as you may know, from Rotary goes to children and youth in Niagara. And with the 4 fundraisers that we do have, accumulating $60,000 to $70,000 a year, we use it all and give it all away in the year. So it's a very, very good opportunity for you to show the community how you appreciate Niagara. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor. And the discount price is $125 per ticket?
Yes, it's $125
Okay,
each.
I thought so.
All you can eat lobster.
Councillor Witteveen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a public service announcement. The West Niagara Agriculture Fair will be starting on September the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So you're all invited to come to the West Niagara Fairgrounds and enjoy the fair weekend.
Thank you for that. Anything else? I'm not seeing anything. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and for this last month. It's been enjoyable. I say that with a smile. If there's no other business, then I would declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you for your patience.